What's going on, guys? This is just a Watachi story that I want to tell you. And it's going to be titled The Devil and Satan. Now, no, folks, I don't believe the devil and Satan are two different entities at all. But Satan can come in many forms. And I claim the devil and Satan because of one fact. There was two of them, and they were identical. Now, to start the story off, I got to start back. This was, let's see, probably in the 90s. I would say, let's see, probably early 90s. At this time, folks, me and my wife, we both knew about Jesus, God, the Bible. We both had our certain beliefs in each thing, we each had our own beliefs in it for whatever reasons. Hey, that's another video. But when we got together, neither of us was walking with Jesus. We knew about it. We had a group of friends, man, a bunch. And I'm going to say this because I don't normally mention this, but I just want this to be known because it's going to be a part of the entire story. We had several friends that were my wife's and mine. As we got married and come together, we brought our friends together, and I would say, a third were black people, a third were Mexican people, and the other third was a mix of everything else. Me. Some of us, like me and my wife, were together. There was other couples that were together, and they were white and a black person, whether it be a white man with a black girl or a black man with a white girl, which either it was. We had several people in this group that we hung around with. Both of us, and when we, like I said, when me and my wife came together, we brought the whole group together. So, and everybody got along, man. We got cookout, everybody got along. So one night, they had the Chippendales male strippers come into town, Mesa, Arizona. Matter of fact, at a bar that I hung out at when I was younger, or before I got married, let's just say, and it was called Bogies, but they could split this big ass bar right down the middle with a big curtain, and it was still a big bar on both sides, and they could have something going on one side and something going on the other. Well, they always, I think it was once a week, or I think it was on Thursday night or something, they did this Chippendales male strippers thing, and they would cut that bar in half with that big curtain wall thing they had. And on one side, until or at 9 o'clock, the Chippendale strippers were in there, and it was what I was told, only women allowed on that side with the stripping Chippendales. And on the other side, then anybody could come in there and still drink and, watch the sports or whatever, but they could split this thing right down the middle. Well, it was one of those nights, and there was my wife, her best friend's sister. Let's see, who else? It was all the women pretty much in the group decided they wanted to go out a night with or just the ladies go out. This is what I was told. Just the ladies go out. We're going to go out and have a good time and watch the male strippers and stuff. I said, all right, we didn't have a problem with it. But I reminded my wife, I said, you got to remember, I used to be sitting on, when they split that wall down the middle of that bar, and they got all the strippers and the women on this side. I was one of the guys on the other side at, I think it was 11 or 12 o'clock when that wall got split wide open. The whole bar came together. I was one of the guys on the other side when all these women that just watched all these male strippers, better looking than me, are now drunk and horny. I was one of them over there, so I wanted to remind her of that. So I know what goes on in there. And so they all decided they were going to go do that. No, I'm good with that, no problem. I got with the guys, and I said, man, those that are married, that's up to you. You guys got to do your thing. If you're going to let her go, go. If not, hey, let her go. I done ordered the keg. I've ordered a keg of beer at my house. They can go do whatever they're going to do. We'll sit there, we'll start this party with a keg. And I said, and then once it's over, we were going to go meet at that bar when the strippers were done. Well, that's how it was supposed to go. Didn't work out that way, folks. Anyway, what did happen was the women got together and they were going to the first bar just to have a few drinks or whatever, and then they were going to pop over to the next bar where the strippers were. Well, one of the ladies in the party lied, and I gotta say, it was actually my wife's best friend, sister, that lied to her husband, and she was and I don't like talking about this, but I gotta do it. She was a white girl, and her husband was a black guy. Now, Al was the black guy. He was one of my best friends at the time. Now, this man knew me for a long time. He knew me to my soul that if somebody touched my wife or my kids, I kill him. Well, this night, this party's, all this, we're getting all this going, and we were going to invite a bunch of people over from the bar and have a big party. That's why I bought a whole keg, man. I just went ahead and bought a keg in case 50, 100 people showed up. This is the way me and my wife used to live too, folks. We ain't no different than you. Wasn't no problem. What I ended up doing was I got some people at my house, and then I ran over to the bar that the ladies were going to be at later, and I got a bunch of people from the side that wasn't cut, or where they had it split off, and the strippers were on one side with the women, and there was these couples and people. I went in there because I knew a bunch of them. I went in there and just told them all, "Hey, come on, man, we got a party going on back over at my house." Let's go back over there. I got free beer. That's what I tell them. If you want anything else, bring what you want, you know. And so they all did. They followed us, or I got a bunch of them to follow us back. Well, I was waiting for my wife to call and say that the strippers are over. And that was going to be when, okay, a bunch of us would go up there and sit with them for a little bit and then head back to the house, you know. Well, that call never happened. My buddy, evidently, I didn't know this about him, but he did not want his wife watching any male strippers. And it wasn't for any religious reasons, folks. It was because he didn't trust her. And he had reason not to. Let's just put it like that. So she lied to him on where they were going. This is one of my best friends. Now, the ladies, when they got to the first bar, they didn't even go inside. They didn't even go inside. They piled into one car, had a small bottle of schnapps or something, sat out there and drank on that and got to busting up laughing, having a good time in there. They decided they were just going to come on back to the house. They knew I had bought a cake. Well, one of the ladies, they wanted to go over and tell her husband, Al, my best friend, that they were going back to the our house. By this time, he done found out they were supposed to be going to the strippers, go see the male strippers, and he was blown up. He had already had a few, and he was mad. He was mad. Well, the ladies got to their house, or to his house, and he got upset because his wife lied to him. No other wives, girlfriends, anybody else in the group lied to anybody else in it. Just this one couple. My best friend. He got pissed. Now, my wife, 4'10", folks. She's the smallest one in the crowd. Well, she was kind of trying to tell this man that they didn't even make it to the stripper. They didn't even go see the strippers. They never even went into the first bar. They sat out in the parking lot and had a few drinks. He wouldn't listen. He was just pissed that she lied to him. And he ended up knocking my wife to the floor. My best friend. I didn't know nothing about it. I got a bunch of people back at my house. Some of them I don't even know that I invited over from the bar. We got drinks, liquor going, got full keg. We got a party going at my house. The ladies all jump after he starts knocking people around. They jump into the car and come back to my house. On the way back, my wife was telling everybody in the car, when you get to my house, you do not, she goes, Al did not hurt me. Yes, he knocked me down, but he did not hurt me. You do not tell Brian that he hit me or knocked me down or put his hands on me. Do not tell Brian. Now, my buddy's wife, and this was his wife, my best friend's wife, first thing in the door, she comes straight up to me and says, my husband just knocked your wife to the floor. She wanted me to hurt him. I said, what? Al did? Al? I'm looking at my wife. I'm going, what the hell's going, what is going on? And my wife starts telling me and trying to explain me and calm me down. Now, I've already had a little bit too. I said, I'll be back. I'm going over there. All of a sudden, there was these two boys. And I'm saying boys, man, they were 19, 20 years old. I don't even know how they got to my house. Maybe 21 if they're lucky. I don't even know where. I didn't invite them from the bar. They ended up coming over after, as people coming over. These guys were identical twins. They were about 6'2", 6'3", both of them bald-headed, scalped. Both of them claiming they just graduated from Marine basic training and they're home on leave before they go back to their MOS or whatever that is. I can't remember all this stuff, folks. And they're like, man, we heard what happened. You want us to go with you? I look up at them because I'm only 5'7". And I know how big my best friend is. Me and him both big. We were both big, strong, muscular. Let's just put it like that. But he's big too. So I'm thinking to myself, all right. Never met these guys before, never seen them again. We're driving over there. I'm driving, they're riding with me. I'm telling these guys, I'm telling you right now, I don't want either one of you laying a hand on this guy unless he's whipping the shit out of me. Then it's a free-for-all. But don't touch him if I'm winning. And I was serious. Well, me and him both, me and my best friend was both drinking already. And I got these two big evil motherfuckers with me, and that's all they were. Marines. Claiming to be Marines, and I think there's a reason why they used that. And if they were anything, even if they were nothing more than evil, just pure evil. I told them, you stay out here in the parking lot. I'm going up. I got to go up a flight of stairs up to the apartment. I'm going up there. I'm not going in the door. Because then if I go in his door and hurt him, that's breaking, or that's entering a man's house and then hurting him. Now, I wasn't going in, so I was going to be standing at the front door. I said, if I start losing or something, you guys you can come up and help. Because I didn't know, folks. This guy was big. I ain't playing with you. He was mean. I was pissed. I didn't care, but he come at me, or his door was standing wide open when I walked up to his apartment. And I never called this man this before. He's sitting on his phone, sitting at his dining room across the living room was in, and then the dining room's on it. He's sitting on it at his table. And I look at my best friend. I said, hey, nigger, did you put your hands on my wife? And he stood his ass up and he came right straight at me. And like I said, I was standing outside the door. He threw a kick that if I would have been a foot closer, would have hit me right in the face. He was too drunk. He was too far away to throw a kick. I caught the foot. And I dumped him back into a glass top coffee table that he had in his dining room. I dumped him into it. It busted into wood busted and everything. So that's all you got? And he stepped back up. Next thing I realized, he hit me, and right behind me, there was a little short wall and then a flight of stairs going down. Somehow he got to me quick enough. He hit me and right square in the jaw, and he knocked me about halfway down that damn stairwell. And these were concrete steps. Somehow I ended up catching myself on the handrail as I was falling. I'd done fallen halfway down. He hit me hard, buddy. He busted me good. By the time I catch myself and I get myself stood back up, now, I told them, don't you mess with him unless I'm getting my ass whipped. They just saw him hit me from the doorway and knock me almost halfway down that stairwell. Satan and the devil jumped up, and when Al stepped out that door and he seen them two boys coming that way, he was like, oh shit. And he took off running. Well, these guys caught him in the parking lot. They ain't doing nothing to him. They're just holding him down. I come walking up out there, and they're looking at me going, kick him, kick him, kick. And I did, folks. I started walking around him, and I kicked him in the ribs. I kicked him in the legs. I kicked him everywhere. I had a pair of boots on, folks. I had them spread his legs, and I kicked him in the freaking nuts about 6 or 8 times. These two started telling me, stomp on his fucking head. Stomp on his fucking head. Kick him in the head. They were cheering me on, man. They were cheering me on. I know I'd done hurt this guy, and I started looking at these two. I said, let him go. And we let him go, and we went back, and I got back to the party, and I shut the whole damn thing down. Everybody was gone. Like I said, folks, these guys want me to kill him. I never had no want to kill him, but I just wanted to make sure he never put his hands on my wife again. Would I do that today? I don't know. If somebody touches my wife, we'll have to wait and see. But I never saw those two boys again. And I was lucky. When I was kicking him, I didn't kick a rib through his heart or kick a rib through his ribs or kick. I could have, people, there was many shots I took on him that could have killed him that night. I punched my own dad in the ribs and punctured his lung with his own rib. So if I could do that with my hand, I could do that with my foot. I never did that again. That's probably the closest I did come to ever killing anybody. And me and my wife don't live anything like that today. Me and my wife love God, worship God. We follow the way. That's what you guys should be doing. Following Jesus. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Anything else isn't going to work. God loves you. I love you. Just another Watachi story. And where I'm at today. I love you guys. Till the next one.